One typo got me a six-figure job. I still don't know if I deserve it. A few years ago, I applied for a job that I was honestly underqualified for, not wildly underqualified, just enough that I figured there was no chance I'd get a callback. A week later, my phone rang. The recruiter sounded excited, like, weirdly excited. She kept talking about my impressive background and how everyone loved my application. I remember sitting there thinking, did she call the wrong person? But I wasn't about to interrupt. Then she scheduled an interview. The interview was even stranger. The hiring manager seemed to know things about me that weren't on my resume. He mentioned projects I'd never worked on, clients I'd never heard of, achievements that definitely weren't mine. Every time I tried to correct him, he'd cut me off and say, yes, we already reviewed all that. At that point I was confused, but I figured maybe they mixed me up with another applicant before the meeting. The interview ended. 2 days later, I got the job, and the salary was way higher than I expected. Now here's where it gets bad. On my first day, people kept congratulating me. One guy even said, "We've heard so much about you." I had no idea what he was talking about. Then I finally saw it, my employee profile. Someone had accidentally attached another candidate's portfolio to my application, not just a page, the entire thing, their certifications, their major projects. Everything. The company thought I was some industry superstar, and somehow, nobody noticed. I spent the entire first week expecting security to walk me out of the building, but nobody said anything, so I started learning, fast. I worked nights, weekends, every spare second. I became obsessed with making sure I could actually do the job they hired me for. Months passed, then a year, then two. I got promoted, twice. At some point, I became genuinely good at the work, better than most people on my team, and then came the twist. One afternoon, my boss called me into his office. I thought it was finally over. I thought someone had discovered the mistake. Instead, he handed me a file. Inside was the original application, the wrong portfolio, the mix-up, everything. He looked at me and said, "You know we caught this during your first month, right?" My stomach dropped. Apparently HR had discovered the error almost immediately. They knew I wasn't the candidate they thought they'd hired. But by then, they'd already seen how hard I was working, so they decided to keep me. Then he said something I'll never forget. "We didn't keep you because of the mistake. We kept you because of what you did after it." I walked out feeling relieved, for about 5 minutes, because then a thought hit me. Somewhere out there is the person whose portfolio got attached to my application. The person who was probably more qualified than me, the person who never got the job, and I've always wondered, if our applications hadn't been mixed up, whose life would be better today, mine, or theirs?